Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Pokemon Soul Silver. When I last left you guys, we were making our way north through and up to the Lake of Rage, and tackling every trainer in our way by the looks of it, which is fine. I could do the extra experience. Not at all upset about that. I'm trying to get Vulpix to a reasonably good level. The problem is, there's a move I want it to learn before I evolve it, but it doesn't learn it till like the mid-40s. So we may be stuck with Vulpix for a little while. I guess that's okay. It seems like it's doing alright. I mean, it did just take down a Steelix that was 6 levels higher than it, so there's that. But beside the point, I want to make it so that we have a halfway decent team going into the Elite Four, because that's what I'm really expecting to struggle quite a bit with, unfortunately. Because of the fact that I've only got 3, maybe really only 4 good Pokemon to use, it might be a situation where I'm just in a bad way, so I'm hoping to mitigate that particular problem as much as possible. We've got Heracross, which is a very good Pokemon, my starter, obviously, which are all good, and Vulpix is proving to be useful, and I imagine Ninetales will only be that much and more so. And I am planning on grabbing at least one halfway decent Pokemon in the near future, but never used it, so I have no idea if it's actually that great. I guess we'll have to find out. I don't need to know more about Bill from you, but thank you. Speaking of, we're nearly up to the Lake of Rage here. We're going to meet some very interesting people. A Girafarig, you say? I do like Girafarig. It's okay. I mean, it's an interesting Pokemon to say the least. Let's see if I can't bite it and take it down, actually. It's normal and psychic type. I think this was the first Pokemon that was part normal, part something else that wasn't flying, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am mistaken about that, but I can't think of anything else. It's only Gen 2, so not like it was like super duper late or anything. But nowadays you've got like, there's normal and grass with, I think Skiddo and Go-Go, right? You've got normal and fighting. You've got, there's normal and all kinds of stuff, pretty much. Alright, what do we have? Oh, jeez. Well, apparently I can't walk more than 2 feet without running into stuff. It's a Flaffy. This thing is not normal. It is purely electric type, which is fine, but I don't need to fight it, so bye-bye. It's weird that we're this late into the game and we're still only fighting things in the wild that are like level 15 or so. This is what bugged me about this generation in general, is throughout the first half of the game, you're really only fighting things in the wild that aren't quite at a level that's high enough for you to grind on, which is annoying because, well, you gotta grind on stuff if you want to make it high enough level to tackle the Elite Four and not be in a bad way. And unfortunately, the only place that's good for grinding before the Elite Four is Victory Road, and that's nothing but like rock and ground types and like Ursaring or something. So if you don't have anything that's good against that, you're gonna have a hard time. Especially if you're running like Typhlosion as your main, then you're gonna be in a really bad way. Because Typhlosion's not good against any of that stuff, and in fact he's weak to a lot of it. Now, Meganium and Feraligatr, on the other hand, have a pretty easygoing time, but... So, I'm not concerned about my starter getting beefed up, per se, but I am concerned a little bit about the rest of my team. Vulpix, for example, can't grind in Victory Road, and there's not really anything decently high enough level that it's good against that I can grind off of, and that's irritating. The extra addition of that Safari Zone gate is a nice addition, but is it enough? Well, I don't know. Please don't you dare kill me. Okay, good. An acid should finish him off. This has been a problematic thing, too, is Arbok, I don't think, is going to cut it, unfortunately, just pure stat-wise. Like, it's just not good enough. Especially to try to be taking down stuff like the Elite Four, who all have, you know, really well-built teams. What? Pfft, no. You know, bring out letting payback? That sounds useless. Yes, I'm going to give up on payback. Thank you. Excuse me. Now, I'm waiting for Arbok to learn Crunch, because that'll at least step up its game a little bit. I know it learns it, I just don't know what level it learns it. Man, all sorts of calls from my mom today. It is what it is, I suppose. Alright, while I'm thinking about it, let's heal up Arbok before I end up losing him again in the process here. How much HP does he have, anyway? This will be perfect, actually. Yeah, like I said, I want to like Arbok. I think I've been giving him a pretty fair shake up to this point, but stat-wise, he's just not holding his end of the bargain, unfortunately. So I'm not really sure how to feel about that. I'm going to keep him around for as long as I can because, well, quite frankly, I don't have anybody else to replace him with anyway. This guy finally evolved his Pokemon with a Moonstone, it seems. That's convenient for him. Let's go ahead and confuse it first. Now, Nidoking is something I'm a massive fan of. I love me some Nidoking. It is absolutely one of my favorites. It's also the first Pokemon that I got perfect IVs that I bred for in Generation 6, which was a lot of effort, but holy smokes is it worth it. I actually built mine to be a special attacker, which I know is really weird to some people. You're like, why would you build special on Nidoking? Well, its special attack really isn't that bad, and it's got a really diverse move pool. We're talking Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Sludge Wave, and something else. I forget what. It might have been a Fire-type move, but I don't remember. Anyway, but yeah, really versatile Pokemon. Unfortunately, it's got some really mundane weaknesses in the form of Ground and Psychic and that kind of nonsense, but Water, you know, that kind of nonsense. But it's still a good Pokemon all around, I think. And it looks cool. That helps, too. Yes, I know it's technically pronounced like Nidoking or something, but I've always said Nidoking since I was a kid, and it's really hard to break that habit. So, if that offends you, deal with it. I'm not changing. So, at least he's burninating. The problem with the burn is it's lowering his attack, so he's not hurt. Burn and Confusion really isn't that great of a combination now that I'm thinking about it. But that's okay. We'll just bite him into oblivion. Unfortunately, I think Poison resists Dark, doesn't it? No, I guess not. I don't know why I always think it does. That makes no sense, really, in the grand scheme of things. Thank you for using your only non-confused turn to focus energy, and then get burninated to death. Goodbye, Nidoking. It was nice knowing you, I suppose. Alright, we're going to lay off on the Vulpix training for a little bit, and we're going to switch to Arbok instead, I think. Especially considering what we're going to be up against here momentarily, and I want to make sure I'm prepared for that. So let's go ahead and switch to Arbok in the front. And here we are at the Lake of Rage. What makes it so rageful, you might be asking? Well, that's a great question. We'll find out momentarily. Hello, Fishing Guru. What have you today? I'm pretty sure you can still catch Magikarp here. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not even difficult to still catch Magikarp here. You saw right. There is a red Gyarados in the Lake of Rage out there. That's bizarre. What is up with that nonsense? Well, it's a shiny Gyarados, as most of you know, I'm sure at this point. And yeah, it's just kind of hanging out there. But I'm going to run around real quick and see if there's anything to grab on this side of the lake before we go too far deep in here. What? Oh, I'm standing on it. A rare candy. Convenient. Anything else lurking around? I know there's a trainer up here or something, right? There's a mass outbreak. See, it's funny that they mention that. They're talking about there being a mass outbreak of Gyarados, and yet I never really see a lot of evidence of that. In fact, I think Gyarados are still really hard to encounter in this lake. Except for that one, obviously. But the water is a deep blue, but the Gyarados is not. Curious. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and save before we battle this thing in case it completely murders my face. And I've been known to have some measure of difficulty with this thing, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how it goes. Alright, Gyarados, what you got? Yasha! That's totally what it sounds like. To be fair, it doesn't say its name like most of the Pokemon. It is shiny! Just like it's a scripted event or something. Yeah. Those of you who are unacquainted, this is Red Gyarados is scripted. It's always shiny. Makes it a lot less special, which sucks because shinies are supposed to be really awesome. And I guess they are. This one still is to a certain extent, but at the same time, it's like everybody has a Red Gyarados. Everybody's got one. So it's not really all that special anymore. Twister, of all things, it uses on me. Let's go ahead and paralyze it first things first. And of course, we have Rain Dance in effect right now, so if this thing knows like Hydro Pump or Waterfall, I'm in a bad way. First things first, though, we're going to Screechify it. Bite. That might actually hurt quite a bit. It wasn't that bad. Speaking of Bite, I might return the favor here momentarily. Should do a... Nah, I might need to Screech him again. That didn't do enough damage. I think the rain continuously falls because we're in a weather-bound area. So it's not something. It's not weather that the Pokemon summoned. It's just it's raining here where we're fighting, so it's always gonna be raining. Leer, good times. It's kind of like what I did to you, but weaker. I don't know if Gyarados learned Screech or not. Now that I think about it, I don't actually know. But I'm gonna bite this thing again. The unnecessary Quick Claw because he's poisoned. It's a little more respectable on the damage spectrum there. He's probably gonna murder me here any second now. As soon as he uses a damaging move that's physical, I'm pretty much boned. But let's go ahead and see if I can't whittle him down just a little bit more before that happens. One more bite, and I think he'll be in catching range. Assuming I don't crit or something silly like that. Honestly, I'm not really that concerned about catching this thing or not catching this thing. Oh, wow, that's perfect. And he's paralyzed. Convenient. Well, I guess we'll see if we can't catch this sucker for the sake of posterity here. I'm going to Ultra Ball it. Considering I probably will have to Ultra Ball it. And that's a first capture on the ball there. Pretty fantastic. That never happens to me. But we got it. Red Gyarados has been dealt with by one way or another. A lot of people think Gyarados is dragon. Conveniently, it is not. It is water and flying. And a lot of people who are not aware of that give me weird looks when I tell them that. They're like, "Oh, I love dragon types like Gyarados." I'm like, "Yeah, but Gyarados is not a dragon." In fact, the only Gen 1 dragon was Dragonite and its evolutionary line. And the only dragon type move in Generation 1 was Dragon Rage, which only ever did 40 damage. We have a red scale. What is the red scale for, you may be asking? Well, I'll tell you when we have the opportunity to find out. First things first, though, who is this chap that just showed up with a Dragonite? Yes, of course I came here because of what? I'm Lance, a trainer like you. Yes, this is Lance, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who know who Lance is know that this guy is awesome. Those of you who don't know who Lance is, well, you're in for a treat. He wants us to help him investigate. Sure. Lake of Rage Magikarp are being forced to evolve with a radio signal. I wonder how they figured out how to do that. That's that not at all suspicious souvenir shop, you mean, Lance? Oh, you're waiting for your Mahogany Town. And off he flies with his Dragonite. Well, sadly, I didn't bring a flying Pokemon this time, I don't think. Nope, I didn't. So we're going to have to walk back to Mahogany Town. That's fine. We just got to drop down over the little ledges things there. Did I fight this guy? Yeah, I did. I bet she's cute. I don't think she is, but who knows. A Max Ether. Interesting. So we're going to run back into Mahogany Town here, and I'm going to grab someone with which to fly. Because that's going to be of paramount importance here momentarily. Alright, so we caught ourselves a red Gyarados. Super cool. That being said, I don't think it shows up red inside the PC, like on its little mini sprite. I think it still shows up blue because they didn't bother to make different colored little sprites for the shiny variants of Pokemon, and I don't blame them, incidentally. That seems like it would be too much work. But maybe I'm incorrect. Let's take a look, shall we? Because I don't remember. Maybe it's the case nowadays with the newer versions of the game, but I don't know. So let's find out. Move Pokemon. Nope, see, it's blue still in the PC. It's red in the preview, obviously, still, but right here, it's blue, which is funny. I always thought that was hilarious. But again, I don't blame the programmers for not wanting to program a shiny sprite of everything for the little PC models there. It would be a massive pain in the butt. Let's put it that way. Alright, so we're going to take a quick fly down to Violet City with Spearow here. It's not that far away, really, but it's a lot longer when you're walking. Down we go. Alrighty. So we actually have to go this direction. Oh, Shardy Berry guy. Do I have shards to give him? I do have some shards. Let's trade him a blue shard. See what I get. Oranberry, Chestoberry, and Wikiberry. Well, two of those are useful. Yeah, I got a green shard too. Let's see what I get for that. A Rostberry. That's of situational usage. Lumberry, nicely done. I love those. And finally an Aguave berry. Ooh, Aguave. It sounds like agave almost. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Man, I could go for a smoothie right now. Anybody else thirsty? It's one of those things with smoothies. Like, are you hungry for a smoothie or are you thirsty for a smoothie? I feel like it's both, right? I don't know. I feel like when I'm between being hungry and thirsty is when I really want a smoothie. I don't know. I'm sorry if that's controversial to you folks, but I know there's very little in the way of actual, like, liquid, and it's mostly just, you know, more, what would you call the state of being of a smoothie? Is it a liquid or is it a solid? Because I don't actually know. I'm sure someone in the comments will be like, no, you idiot. It's clearly one or the other. And I'm like, well, sorry, listen. Maybe you have your own interpretation of it. I choose to think it's a little more in the solid end than the liquid end, although you can slurp it through a straw, so really that kind of puts a point in one column versus the other. Anyway, we're here to see Mr. Pokemon because he is the one who wants this red scale. That's rare. I want it. Would you trade it? He'll give us an experience share. Wonderful. This late into the game, we finally get one. Shut up, Lyra. Holy smokes. Anyway, so the experience share does exactly what it says on the tin. It allows you to share experience with another Pokemon. So the Pokemon that you give it to doesn't even have to battle, and it will gain experience points. So I think what we're going to do is actually give that to Arbok so that he'll level up while we are using other Pokemon with which to battle things. Because that sounds useful. So we're going to switch to Heracross for the time being, I think, in the main slot. And why don't I go pay Kurt a visit now that I'm on the sidetrack tour here? Because I would like some apricorns. So we can go visit Kurt real quick. I forgot what kind of apricorns I gave him with which to turn into balls for me, but I guess we will find out in just a moment. We got more white one here outside of his house. Always fun. Thank you very much. Now, fastballs are pretty neat, but again, they're situationally useful. Alright, Kurt, what you got for me? Friend balls. Awesome. Those are pretty useless. Alright, well, I'm going to give him something else to work on for the time being. What did I give him last time? Was it red ones? I think it was red ones. So we're going to give him... Blue ones are lure balls. Those are pretty useful. Black ones are heavy balls. Let's go with lure balls. Oh, I could have just hit down. That's fair. It'll take a day to make it. Alright, bye. Alright, that being said, why don't we take a quick little jaunt over to Goldenrod, now that I'm thinking about it. I might stop over there to buy some more Drinkitudes, because, well, I'm running low on those and I need more. I'm probably not going to make you all sit through and watch me do that, because, well, we'd be here all dang day, and we don't want to deal with that. That being said, I'm going to see what the department person here, the courier guy, I guess, has for me. The Oka berries. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Well, I'm going to go take some shopping here and sell some stuff, probably. What do I have to sell anyway? I don't even know. We don't want to sell any of that stuff. 3 nuggets. Wow, that's a nice, tidy pile of cash. Let's see. A pearl, we can sell that. Repel. We don't want a basic repel. I might buy some super or some max repels. I have 2 King's Rocks? Oh, yeah, because one of the Slowbro I caught was holding one. That's convenient. Too bad I can't use them. I'll keep the 2 super repels. Heart scales are useful. I don't remember if the mushrooms have a purpose in this game or not. I don't think they do, but I'm going to hang on to them just in case, because I can't remember. And I haven't bothered to look that up, even though I keep talking about it. We don't need paralyzed heal. I'll keep the paralyzed heals. There's no reason to get rid of them, really. Max potion. These are utterly useless unless you're running, like, Blissey or something. Because Hyper Potion does the job for a lot less money. Nothing else to sell, really, so I guess we are all set here. That being said, I am going to head up to the 6th floor and buy some drinks, but I'm going to do that off-screen because I'll be here doing that for a while. So I'm just going to run up there real quick, and then we're going to call it a video, and then we'll join up after I'm done with that and get back on the road. Back to Mahogany Town, which is where we were supposed to meet up with Lance. The Rooftop Atrium, it's called. Interesting. At any rate, thank you very much for joining up to this point. I really do appreciate it. And join me next episode when we finally tackle the not at all suspicious souvenir shop in Mahogany Town with Lance. It's going to be a lot of fun, I promise. So until that time, thank you very much for watching. As I've said, this has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.